Hello, hello, hello. This is Senator Angela Williams Graves representing the 21st Senatorial District in the Commonwealth of Virginia, which is the bulk of Norfolk. And it's What's Up Wednesdays. This is our special session 2025 General Assembly session, What's Up Wednesdays. Normally we do these on the third Wednesday of every month, but during session we are doing some specials because I want to keep you updated on what is going on. And so this is our special time together, and I hope that you will get a little bit of insight into what's happening here and also get updated on where we are, where my office is, and then what you can do to stay engaged with us. So what's up? It's Wednesday. I want to start by acknowledging something that I don't have an answer to. And it is all of the things that are coming out of the White House. I have some time set aside later in the week, probably, I think it's tomorrow because today's Wednesday, with our Norfolk, our Norfolk government relations folks to help me to understand how the actions of the 47th president will affect our residents in Norfolk in the 21st Senatorial District. That is important to me, and it's important that I get it right before I put out a statement of any kind. It's important to me to be factual and not emotional in the statement that I put out, especially an official statement. But I want to make sure that I have good, solid information as all of these things just keep coming at us, right? I want to make sure that I am giving you good, solid information. So please, please, please do a couple of things. One, follow our social media. All of our social media is at the top. Yep, got it right. Top of the screen. You can follow us on all of our social media channels. You can also visit norfolksenator.com. norfolksenator.com and click on the homepage on the left. You'll see a page, a link that says sign up. That signs you up for our newsletter. Okay. And during session, we publish the newsletter every week, usually on the weekend. All right. Because we are really busy this session. And after session ends, we publish the newsletter every 2 weeks so that we don't bombard you with information and emails. Because if you're like me, you get a lot of stuff and some of it is more pertinent than others. And we just want to make sure that what we're putting in your inbox is useful to you and not just, extra stuff, right? We don't need extra stuff. And so I'm going to be, and I also have a call into Congressman Scott and to Senator Warner to get their perspectives as well on what is happening. And the last thing I'll say about it is this. I saw something on social media that was very, very accurate. And it was, people are saying Democrats need to do something. Democrats need to stop him. Democrats need to, fight this. Understand that Democrats told y'all who to vote for last year. Some of you understood the assignment and you did exactly what you were supposed to do. Some of you stayed home. I'm not even going to get on that soapbox. And then some of you did the exact opposite of what we told you to do. So this ain't on us, all right? But understand the dynamic of power in that when the Republicans hold the majority of the votes, of the seats rather, which is equivalent to the votes in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. And then they hold the White House. Actually, a madman holds the White House, but he's a madman masquerading as a Republican. And so if every Democrat votes against every piece of legislation, that is put forth in Congress, it means nothing. Because if all of the Republicans stick together, which they are known to do, and vote for the legislation, it's going to pass because they hold the majority of the seats, which means they hold the majority of the votes on legislation that is put forward either from the White House at the bequest of the White House or from their Republican colleagues. And Democrats can put in legislation after legislation to defeat this stuff all day long. But if Republicans don't come to their senses and defect and vote with Democrats to override some of this madness, then at this point, the power has already shifted. And there's not anything from a legislative perspective that Democrats can do. Now, might we be able to do some things from a legal perspective? Absolutely. But here in Virginia, that would call for the, it's not the Commonwealth's attorney, it is the Attorney General. That would call for the Attorney General to come to his senses and file suit against the president, who is of his own party, okay? And in order to attempt to use the courts to right some of these wrongs. And so I just want you to understand, it's not that we Democrats don't want to do anything. It's just that the power has shifted. And I'm going to tell you, as a legislator who has been on both sides of that coin, I have served in the majority and I have served in the minority. And when you are in the minority, you can turn cartwheels all up and down the congressional hallways, and it means nothing. All right. And so just understand that that's kind of where we are. I hate to be the voice of doom and gloom, but I am also the voice of reality. And that's where we are. And so ideally, I'm really not, putting a whole lot of faith in this. Our Attorney General will join in with some other states in suing the federal government. There may also be some private class action lawsuits, perhaps. I don't even know how that works, to be perfectly honest with you, because I'm not a lawyer. But ideally, our Attorney General will go, the people of Virginia don't deserve this. The people of Virginia are good people and they deserve me to fight for them. But I'm not holding my breath on that because I might be dead. I'll end up being one of my husband's clients, right? And I don't want that. So, and for those of y'all who don't know, my husband's a mortician. Okay. So it's kind of inside joke there. But I'm not holding my breath on the Attorney General coming against the POTUS. I'm not holding my breath on the governor speaking out against the president. He's more interested, quite frankly, in defending the president's actions than or cherry picking the actions he wants to defend instead of speaking up for what's wrong. So that's that. All right. I wanted to say that because I didn't want you to think that I am oblivious to what is happening and that I'm oblivious to what's going on. But that's where we are in these days and times. And so I just want to encourage you to stay, to just keep your mental health, whatever that means that you have to do during these times. For me, it's not ingesting every little piece of everything that comes out on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and MSNBC and all those other Channel 13 and all that. For me, I can't do that, right? I cannot do that. I can ingest the facts. I can process the facts. And then I can move on. All right. And then I can determine how my actions are going, what I'm going to do in order to work for, and protect my constituents, because y'all are my responsibility. And I take that responsibility very, very seriously. All right. So now I'm 10 minutes in and I want to give you a couple of updates. So here we go. 8 of my bills have passed the Senate floor. As of last night, I had my first bill killed in committee, which I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm going to go to the one person who voted against my bill in committee and see if he is willing to work with me on the bill, change his mind or whatever. But here and again, Democrats have the majority in the Senate. And so our committees where bills are vetted and voted on to get to the floor are stacked where there are 8 or 9 Democrats, and then there are 6 or 7 Republicans. So if all the Democrats stick together, which happens a lot of times, we get to pass good legislation, and it passes out of committee and it goes to the floor for a full vote. Now, sometimes it gets hung up in finance, and that's a whole nother conversation, but it passes out and it goes to the floor for a full vote. And there are 21 of us in the Senate and 19 Republicans in the Senate. That makes our 40 members. And so, and in a tie situation, the lieutenant governor is the tiebreaker. All right. So ideally, bills pass through the committee and they get to the floor and we stick together and we vote on them. I was really disappointed because that bill was the bill that pretty much created a bubble around vehicles when they come for curbside voting. I got complaints about folks being overzealous at the curbside and just bombarding individuals who are coming to vote. All right. And at a certain point, when the registrar takes the voter's ID, all of that activity has to stop. And so right now we don't have anything that does that. And so I put a 10-foot buffer in around the vehicle or the outside voting precinct. So it makes the vehicle a voting precinct, and there's a 10-foot buffer that says once the registrar takes the voter's ID, then that becomes the voting precinct and vote just like when you go in. Okay, just like when you go into the building. And a lot of times these folks who are coming curbside are elderly. They may not be able to walk long distances. We've had some folks that have come right straight from the hospital to vote, and they want to be able to vote in peace. And so that's what that bill was all about. And so I'm going to talk to the one note, see what we can do. It's a possibility. It's a slim one, but it's a possibility we can still save it. But 8 bills passed the Senate, 2 bills. I have actually now 3 bills up on the floor. We did this yesterday and stuff just changes. 3 bills on the floor, 7 bills in finance, and 2 more bills in committee. And I think the 2 bills in committee. No. Yeah, we still do have those 2 in committee. So yeah, they've got to make their way because there is also such a thing as subcommittee. And so we're going to do a crash course on how a bill becomes a law. But we did do that. We did do how a bill becomes a law. So if you go back to our YouTube channel, you can find that. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today was part of the governor's responsibility and ours, and that's governor's appointments. We had governor's appointments last week come out of the Senate, and the appointment power is given by the Constitution of Virginia to the governor to appoint to boards, commissions, and all kinds of stuff, right? And I'm going to tell you how many in a minute, and it's going to shock you. But the governor may appoint whoever he deems the same necessary and may remove at will investigators and temporary special police officers who shall be directly responsible to the governor, be conservators of the peace, and have jurisdiction throughout the Commonwealth in the enforcement of the laws of the Commonwealth, such as investigators and special police officers shall have this is not the right ordinance. This is not the right ordinance. However, yeah, that's not the right ordinance. All right. That's on me because I didn't read the ordinance. I looked at the title and did not read the words. All right. So that's on me. But the governor does have the power to appoint to boards and commissions, all right? And we have the responsibility as the legislature to confirm those appointments, all right? So we passed out of the House out of the Senate, a total of 961 appointments that the governor made. So the governor appoints these people. They pretty much take office or take their appointment. They start going to meetings. They are what we call pro tem, temporary appointments until the General Assembly can confirm them. All right. And so a lot of these appointments were made after session last year, and these people have been serving in this capacity, some wreaking havoc, some doing good. All right. And that's just the truth. And so 9 of those were struck down by the Senate. All right. We are the initiating body for confirmations. All right. And 9 were struck down by the Senate. And so give or take 10%. All right. So we gave him 90% of his appointments, and we took out 10% for reasons that we felt were not in line with the goals and the values, primarily the values of the Commonwealth. These were people who we feel like did not exhibit the values of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we did not feel like they needed to have this prestigious and powerful position. Now, there are 439 boards and commissions. All right? 439 boards and commissions. And most of these boards and commissions have at least 3 members. Some have 10 or 15. All right. So that's a lot of appointments. All right. So you go 961 total appointments. Oh my God. Yeah, that's a whole lot of people. Appointments and reappointments, because some of the folks were reappointed. Here's an example of what these boards and commissions can be. The Board of Visitors for all the universities, colleges and universities in the Commonwealth of Virginia. The public colleges and universities, that would be Norfolk State University, that would be Virginia State University, that would be VMI, that would be JMU, all of the state boards and commissions, state boards of visitors, the governor can appoint to. Now, the Board of Visitors works with the university, and they can have a whole lot of power when it comes to the hiring and firing of university presidents, the curriculum that's taught, all those kinds of things. So what kind of people do you want on the Board of Visitors for your university, your alma mater? Then there's the Board of Housing and Community Development, the Board of Social Work. All of these people work in these areas. They work to develop policy recommendations, okay? And they look at the organization that is in their purview, and they look at efficiencies. They look at, things that they may need to do better, or things that we may need more funding for, or things that we don't need to do at all. But they also make policy recommendations to the governor. And sometimes they make policy recommendations to the General Assembly. And so you want to make sure that people who are doing this work are doing it with values that represent Virginia. All right. So the link that you see at the bottom is where you can find the full list of boards and commissions, and you can also apply. And if you live in the 21st Senatorial District and you apply for a board or commission, please let my office know. All right. I can't guarantee you with this governor that we can make any movement happen on that, but at least we have your information and we know that you're interested. So when we get the next governor, who ideally will be a Democrat, we can help put some more good people. We can put good people in place that embody the values of Virginia. All right. Does that make sense? So when folks go to crying about, they pulled all of the governor's appointments, we didn't pull them all. we pull 10%. Now the House has so once we do what we do and vote on it, the list goes over to the House with those 9 people stricken from the ordinance, the body of the ordinance. And you can go online and see the names of the people. They're online. It is no secret to who's being appointed and where, to what body they're being appointed to. And so you can go online and see that on LIS, which is the Legislative Information Services in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And you'll see the people, all the people and all the boards that they're appointed or reappointed to. All right. And so, like I said, when folks go to whining about we pull the governor's appointments, we didn't pull them all. We just pulled 9 people. You know, it's like kind of get over it. It goes over to the House. They may want to pull some more people. I don't know. I'm not there anymore. And then whatever they pull, it has to come back to the Senate, and we have to agree to the lists have to be agreed to by both bodies. So they may say, oh, well, somebody you pull, we want to add back. And then it's a little bit of a back and forth. And then there is a time deadline sometime in February, early February, that we have to have all this done. So it is a work in progress. And we are doing our best to make sure that these boards and commissions are balanced and not with extremists, and that they have people on them who embody, again, the values of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Now, guess what, y'all? Norfolk Day at the Capitol, we got a snow makeup day. All right, so last week when we had Norfolk at the Capitol Day, 5 brave souls showed up for Norfolk Day at the Capitol. And I appreciate those 5 brave souls for getting out of Norfolk, because what I heard was if you could get out of Norfolk, once you got on the highway, you were good. And by morning, all our snow was gone here in Richmond. And so hopefully we have seen all of the snow for this year that we are going to see. But we have a snow makeup day. And that snow makeup day is it's Thursday, February 13th. Starts at 10. And at 12, we'll around 11:30, we'll walk everybody over to the Capitol. You will have the opportunity to go to either the Senate or the House, and we will introduce you on the floor. We are working to get everybody back together again, and kudos to the legislators that took time to come. It was important because here's the thing. Some people say, well, it was just 5 people, but those 5 people made their way here. And so we wanted to give them the full experience of Norfolk Day at the Capitol. And it also just happened to be Senator Lucas's birthday that day. So it was a real special day, right? So Thursday, January 13th, from 10 to 12, if you go to the bit.ly link at the bottom of the graphic there, or scan the QR code with your phone, you can go to register. Even if you register for the first one, you need to register for this one so that we will be counting you in our RSVPs. All right. So we'll know how many people we need to have room for. All right. Does that make sense? So please RSVP, y'all. I mean, really just RSVP. I don't even care if you RSVP like on February 10th, but just make sure that you RSVP so that we know that you're coming and we can make provisions for you. If you want to, wait a minute, hold on, I'm moving too fast. If you have someone that does exceptional work in the city of Norfolk, if there is an organization that is celebrating a milestone anniversary, like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, or whatever, and they're working in the Commonwealth, we just talked to the aerospace people, and they're celebrating their 30th year. So we're putting in a commending resolution for them for their 30th year. So if you've got people who are working diligently in the community to make our community better, who've done very good work in our community, we want to know about it and we want to celebrate them. So if you visit our website, norfolksenator.com/resolutions, you can submit their name and information. Make sure you fill out all the information so that we can get back in touch with you if we have questions and get you the draft so you can approve it before it goes to final print. And then if there is a memorial resolution, if someone significant to you and the community passed away, we would love, and you would like to memorialize their life in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia, then, please let us know. Again, go to norfolksenator.com/resolutions. That is a memorial resolution. And we will put that information together. Both these resolutions, commending and memorial, both go in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia. So if your church, your sorority, your fraternity, your community group, whatever is hosting, is having a momentous year, somebody's retiring after doing several decades of work, if they're working with children, young people, old people, all kinds of people, and doing work in the community, please let us know, because we do want to celebrate them. All right. That's how we can celebrate folks and give them their roses while they can smell them. All right. That's good, right? All right. So now you can track my bills. This is the bit.ly link for you to track my bills, all of my bills that I'm patroning, co-patroning, all that stuff. It's all there. There's a link for you to watch the session. If you want to watch our live Senate sessions, you can do that as well. And then if you have a constituent services request during session, we have not disappeared from Norfolk, y'all. Okay, just want to know, even though we're here, we handle probably 100% of our constituent services requests remotely anyway, right? We handle them by being service connectors from a person who has an issue to the proper person who can help them. We put those people together, and then we follow back up to make sure that everybody has gotten everything that they needed, right? So even though we're here in Richmond, we are still able to handle any constituent service issue that you may have with the state agency. We can connect you with local folks. We can even make sure that you have the proper contact information for your federal representatives, because a whole lot, they got their hands full, right? They definitely have their hands full. And so we want to make sure that you have everything that you need in order to be able to get what you need. And our job is to help you. So during session, our phone number, 804-698-7521. We've got a great staff. Our team is here. And then I'll introduce y'all to them next time. And then info@norfolksenator.com, info@norfolksenator.com. If you have a constituent services issue, if you have a question about something, if you want to tell us your opinion about a bill, then that is the email. My brain went blank. That's the email that you can use in order to do that. I will leave you by saying thank you for allowing me the opportunity to serve as your senator in the Senate of Virginia and to work hard on your behalf. We are going through some interesting times where things are not as predictable as they may have once been. But what I can tell you is that I'm fighting every day for the citizens of Norfolk and the Commonwealth of Virginia. And all of the things that are going on globally are not lost on me. They are they're in my mind, they're in my heart. And the citizens of Norfolk and the Commonwealth are at the forefront of the decisions that I make. So just know that, and know that we'll be back. We'll be back with an update, and make sure you sign up for our e-newsletter so that you can get all of the information on a weekly basis that we're working on, with all of the links to the bills and every place else. Make sure that you do that. And then lastly, and most importantly, probably today, I want you to know that I love you. And I want you to know that I'm fighting for you. And I also want you to know that I'm praying for you. And I want you to remember that no matter what happens, you are still a walking, talking, living, breathing miracle. So until next time, God bless, stay safe, and keep your peace of mind.